Hello and welcome. This brief presentation is about sensory language and how it improves the reading experience. By improving the reader's experience, the writer's words and ultimately stories can become a lot more engaging and powerful. In this presentation, I will talk about the use of sensory language in relation to the five senses. I will also provide examples of the use of such language drawn from various writers so that you will have an idea of how sensory language can be employed by a writer to bring the words alive. To make this distinction clearer, I will also provide an example of the absence of such language. You will be able to see the difference very clearly so that when you write, you will strive to use sensory language and thereby erase the interest of the reader from the very beginning. The main idea behind sensory language is to provide an experience for the reader. In literature, we call that imagery. It's a commonly used literary device that helps the reader experience, through the writer's words, the world that is presented. By using sensory language, the writer is able to inject life into the stories. The world literally comes alive. Here's a well-known example from Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. Between the woods and the frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harnessed bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. Notice how Frost's language presents a world with its sights and sounds. The horse is little, the lake is frozen, the evening is dark, the wind is easy, and the snowflakes are downy. We as readers can feel the cold, the peace, and the beauty of this picture. If Frost's idea was just to give information, he could simply say, I stopped by the woods during the winter one evening. Such a line would simply give information, but Frost has a much loftier objective. He wants to take the reader to this enchanting evening. That's what sensory language is able to accomplish. The reader can live the experience the writer is describing. Now that you have an idea of what imagery can accomplish, I will describe in detail how writers use sensory language in relation to the five senses. First, we will deal with the sense of sight. Writers use descriptive words that deal with shapes, colors, sizes, patterns, and the overall appearance of what is being described. This type of imagery that describes what is received through the eyes is called visual imagery. Let me give you another example. Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. Her beauty hangs upon the cheek of night like a rich jewel in an Ethiopia's ear. In this example from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, we the readers can clearly see Juliet's beauty. Granted, this is a play and what is described can actually be seen on stage, but I am referring to Shakespeare's use of poetry in this instance. A rich jewel in an Ethiopia's ear very effectively brings out Juliet's striking beauty. She doth teach the torches to burn bright, conveys to the reader the brightness that Juliet encompasses. Let's look at another visual imagery from a modern writer. This is from the Canadian poet Richard W. Thomas's The Worker. My father lies black and hushed beneath white hospital sheets. He collapsed at work. His iron left him. Slow and quiet he sank, meeting the wet concrete floor on his way. The wheels were still turning. They couldn't stop. Red and yellow lights flashing. Gloved hands twisting knobs. They couldn't stop.